Champions from Holland in lane 3, the Olympic silver medalists in lane 6. But at the top of the screen, furthest away from us, will be Paul Reedy and Peter Anthony of Australia. Next, two very big men, both 2 meters and 2 centimeters, Oliver Gruner and Hartmut Reinke. The Olympic champions in lane 3, and right next to them a Norwegian pair who've already beaten them this year in Lucerne and again in the heats earlier in the regatta to qualify for today's final. Two men from Vienna representing Austria in lane 5, Christoph Zerps and Arnold Jonker. And completing the lineup, the Olympic silver medalists from Seoul. So quite a field here for the men's double sculls. And this quick start, the short strokes to get the boat moving.
And we're looking onto the Norwegian double, masses of experience there. We're looking at Rolf Thorsen at bow, world champion in this event in 1982, and then subsequently in a very successful quad, got a silver medal in Seoul with his present partner, Lars Bjornes. They have proved to be a very successful double this season, beating the Dutch at Lucerne by about a second. So the Dutch Olympic champions will be watching them extremely closely during this race. Watch too the Swiss over in lane 6, because they were the silver medalists in Seoul, and they came through very fast towards the end of the race. So there's a lot to go in this race. I wouldn't expect to see the Norwegians coming through until the middle part of the race, but there's very little to choose between them here.
500 meters then, and it's the Federal Republic in Germany. That's two from the top of the screen that are in the lead, just over half a second ahead of the Austrians, with Australia in third place. So the tactics yet to be unfolded as we move into the second 500. The time for the first 500, 1:33.54, so not incredibly fast.
No, not a bad time. I think if we'd seen some of the fast crews in the DDR here, we might have seen a couple of seconds faster from the leaders. But this is a very steady-paced group, and they're going to probably go over the course very, very evenly. But it looks to be the crew still from the Federal Republic, which has got its nose in front. Very, very well placed all boats here. Still anybody's race. And the Norwegians now starting to move forward. They've increased their rate of striking. The number of strokes has raised a little bit. They're obviously trying to see if they can edge in front, take the initiative away from the rest of the field. And beyond them, the Australian double, stroked by Peter Anthony, a former lightweight world champion, outstanding competitor. But I shall be interested to see if they can actually maintain that sort of pace in the second half. Very, very neat sculling from this Norwegian couple. Very easy, just reach out. They really pull right the way through to the finish. When we look across perhaps and see a little bit of the Dutch, they're not quite so strong to the finish. Not big men either of these two, both around 87 kilograms.
So coming into the final 500 meters of the race, and Norway in command. And look at that command they have got, over 2 seconds over their Dutch rivals. And remember, they've got a 100% record over the Dutch pair this season. Beaten them at Lucerne and in the heats, and they really do look smooth. Just edging in there into third place still is the Australians. And just coming into the picture also to challenge the Australians in lane 5, Austria. But the Norwegians, they really do look in command as they come past the island, yet another feature of this course. But the Dutch now trying to apply the pressure with less than 250 meters to go.
So I think the Norwegians now, they've got a smell of the line. They know they're not far away, but it's the Dutch crew trying to make a tremendous effort to get on terms. But I think at this point it's still the Norwegians holding on.
Half a length between the two crews. Australia now being challenged just out of the picture by Austria for that bronze medal. In fact, the Austrians are absolutely flying in the final 500. They're even coming up on the Dutch. I think the line's going to come too soon for them, but the Norwegians in command, as they have been for virtually the last half of this race, and they take the gold ahead of Holland, with Austria getting a bronze medal, and then very close there for fourth place. And in fact, finishing last, the Federal Republic of Germany, who were first earlier on. And that really has been a painful effort there, Chris.
Oh yes, you don't win races by around about a second without knowing you've been in them. But it was a very well timed race, very evenly paced, a classic way the Norwegians like to row a race. And it was one they were able to row their own way, and very well deserved victory.
And they've got the satisfaction of knowing that they have indeed beaten all of the best double scullers in the world.
And as they take the line, rowing as they have throughout. Very strong strokes right the way through to the finish, and I think that's probably what made the difference between them and the Dutch champions. A little bit more push off the finish of the stroke.
And a terrific effort there from the Austrians. 1:30.98, the time for Austria in that final 500. Gold to Norway then, Holland the silver, Austria squeezing Australia out of the bronze, and Australia dead heating on time with Switzerland for 4th place. Well, more action to come.